Hello, this is Dr. Briscoe. I'm a teacher at Suncoast Community High School in Riviera Beach, Florida. We're on topic 2.6 today, expansion of presidential powers. This is the second video. We're going to be looking at skill 4A, describe the author's claims, perspective, evidence, and reasoning, and this is part of the source analysis disciplinary practice. All right, so what will we learn? We've got our lesson overview here, and then we're going back here to take a look at what Hamilton said needed to be in place in order to ensure that we did not have a executive that was going to be overbearing, that there would be mechanisms built in that would prevent the executive from either wanting to or being able to amass power on his own. We saw this last time with the express powers, implied powers, and inherent powers, and understand that really we have powers that have been by tradition expanded. And so this is just an example here. Whenever a president does something, and it's the first time that it's done, and it's not something that is challenged as unconstitutional, then that's called a precedent. And the next president will use it, and the one after that will. And if that one comes up with something new, then it's going to be used in the forward. So this is going to be just a layout here of some of the opportunities that presidents had to exert more authority, and it just kind of carries forward. And none are going to take it back. That's just not how it's going to work. Those who can will. And this is not to say they're abusing power. It's just to say, okay, it's there. If I need to use it, that is available, and it has been legitimized by the use of that power by a previous president. All right, there's a lot going on here, but essentially just pulling so much that is in the Constitution. We've got federalism. We talked about that some time ago. Approaches to judicial rulings, the role of all of these different groups when it comes to policy making. So come back and take a look at this when you've got a little bit more time. It really is quite interesting. All right, so source analysis. We talked about this last time when we were looking at Federalist 70. You want to be able to show that you understand the content because you can then describe the author's claims, perspective, and evidence, and you're going to use those skills to explain how there could be different perspectives, in this case, on presidential roles ranging from limited to more expansive interpretation and the use of power. And that, of course, continues to be debated. All right, so you want to practice the source analysis skills on your own, making sure that you go through each one of the questions and can answer them. All right, so you're going to get to your analytical reading activity 2.6, and you're going to do a close reading of something else that's in there. It is Youngstown Sheet and Tube. So I'll give you a second to get that together. All right, so just something to think about when we look at a generalization. When branch A is checking on branch B's, branch B checks and balances are utilized, and branch B's defense will usually rest upon, okay, that's a power we have, so you can't really tell us what to do over in branch B. So here, summarizing the arguments and reasoning of the steel mill and of President Roosevelt. So we got it kind of divided there. So this is what we came up with in terms of what you could be thinking about in terms of your responses. So just take a look at that. You want to be able to come back to that and see how there were different approaches as to what they thought the president's power, the extent of that power was. And summarize how can we determine when any of the branches is most and least powerful. And so we've got that kind of outlined here. Again, come back to this and take a look. We know that it's going to be most powerful for both when it's in the Constitution, and it's going to be least powerful when it is not in the Constitution and it's not implied, and you're going to have trouble connecting it to anything else or precedent. That's going to be a challenge the most. All right, you remember this graphic where we have the checks and balances on each one of the branches as a way to restrain power. And so we've got some examples here in terms of the president. Take a look at these when you've got more time. We've got some modern situations here that speak to the president's ability to do, to make policy, to get into foreign policy, and to kind of make a war outside of what is belonging constitutionally to Congress. Okay, so what should we take away? We've got our lesson overview here. We took a look at the skill and two sources that you're going to go back to when you've got time in 2.6, and make sure that you are going through the list of questions and understanding what it is that you are able to see and understand so that you can do the responding that you need in terms of talking about reasoning and claims of an author. All right, going to stop there. Thank you. See you next time.